Thank you and good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. The Royals have lost the first 3 games, being outscored 10-0 in the first inning, meaning it seems like it's over by the end of the first inning. The opener did not work last night as they gave up 6 runs in the first inning. Especially, I do agree with the opener, especially when you have injuries, though. Royals' depth is catching up with them, maybe. The Kansas City Royals are playing the Yankees. Starting pitching tonight will be the Alec Marsh, and for the Yankees, it will be Nestor Cortes with a 0-0 game. Yankees did not score in the first, and the Royals, Blanco made a great play to prevent a run from scoring. The Royals will play Dodgers next, and that'll be a tough team against them too. They were World Series favorites to start the year. The Cardinals will play the Pirates. The Cardinals look to take the 4-game sets 3-1. Lance Lynn is on the mound for the Cardinals, and Lynn Mitchell will go for the Pirates. Game time 1:15. Cardinals 0-0, middle of the second inning. The Cubs lost 1 the day before and took the game last night. The Cubs try to take the series and get 2 games within 500. Game time is at 5:50. We'll preview more of the Cubs and Cardinals tomorrow. Their game is at 1:20. Florida Panthers and Oilers tonight. The Panthers lead the Edmonton Oilers 2-0. ABC ESPN Plus. Players to watch out for: Sam Reinhart and Connor McDavid. Rest of the starting lineups: Rutgers Hopkins, center left wing Zach Hannon, right wing Lino Darstell, Connor McDavid, and Evan Bouchard. Goalie Stuart Skinners. Florida Panthers home team: center Alexander Bovark, Sam Reinhart, Carter Verhaeghe, Brandon Motor. At the left defense, right defense, Matt Tadaka. Goalie Sergei Bobrovsky. Face-off is tonight at 7. Edmonton Oilers favored tonight. In the NBA, it will be the Celtics and Mavs. We'll talk about that much more tomorrow. Here's what is next up. Rashid Rice saying accidents just happen. Accidents just don't happen. Accidents happen when you spill a Coke, but you don't get in a car crash with 5 other people in 2 cars going 119 miles an hour. Chiefs, for me, this is more of a concern that he will do it again. He doesn't sound very apologetic. Some people think that the process may go through the courts and he may not be suspended until midway through the season or next year. Chiefs also taking a big chance on keeping him, especially with the not apologetic, and they kept Harrison Butker, so they can't give Harrison Butker up and keep Rashid Rice in my mind. Charles Omenihu suspended, took until the next season as well.
With the kids, what's that like? Remind me of you, doing some drills, playing football?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be able to come out here and have an impact in the community, especially since, it's not too, I remember it's not too short, so we kind of remember exactly how it feels to be out here and how it feels to, want to reach your goal being in the NFL.
I know for you, obviously, off-season, if you don't have to come, you don't come, but just what have you learned from this last few months?
Just honestly, taking life day by day and being, grateful for every day. Nothing possible without the the grace of God. So we're just out here trying to show the love and be blessed for every opportunity we get.
Rasheed, you feel like you've learned from the off-season things?
Yeah, of course. I've learned so much from that. All I have to do is mature and continue to grow from that. And this is a step in a better direction for me.
What can you do from this point forward?
Just continue to be involved and be blessed and for the opportunity that we have.
What do you tell them?
Going forward in your journey?
It's been very important just because, accidents and stuff like that happen. But, all you can do is kind of move forward and, walk around being the same person. Try to be positive so that everybody can feel your love and your great energy.
How have you been mentally? Who have you been leaning on?
Honestly, my team, being back on the field, knowing that the Kansas City community and the team, they got my back all the way.
Telling little kids, everybody makes mistakes. What advice would you give a little kid that said, you know what, I messed up and I want to move forward?
I wouldn't necessarily say, make mistakes, but in order to learn in life, you have to make some type of mistake.
Without the project, Star Bonds are the ultimate, quote, user pay model for financing infrastructure. Sales tax generated within a defined district are utilized to retire the Star Bonds. So only the areas that are built with the Star Bonds, the taxes are taken from those areas, and that's what goes to pay off the bonds that are used to build it. Nothing in the bill requires Kansas taxpayers to fund the entire project. Any stadium built under the professional sports franchise Star Bond legislation will be a public-private partnership with the franchise owner contributing hundreds of millions of dollars to the project. How many hundreds of millions? Don't know yet.
Yeah,
doesn't say there.
As an S, which
right,
be more
hundreds
than 2.
Of millions, but it obviously is. That's a detail that you would want to know on down the road. Star bond projects are not notorious for defaults. Some people have, talked about, well, they default, and the risk for failure is not on the taxpayers, but rather the bond holders. So whatever financial institution holds the bonds, if it would fail, if somehow it doesn't generate revenue, the bond holders, they pay, not the taxpayers. Right, that's what the fact list on this says. The taxpayers will never have to repay these bonds. Wyandotte County is home of the most successful star bond development in the state, the Kansas Speedway and Sporting Kansas City, with nearly $1.5 billion in additional investment well underway. Adding another professional sports franchise would only enhance public traffic to this area, attract millions of new fans to Kansas every year, and make this area even more successful, which benefits all of Kansas. Again, the professional sports franchise Star Bond legislation does not impose any new or higher sales taxes on Kansans. That seems to be a big one that they want to underscore a couple of times. Under the bill, sales taxes will not be captured unless communities through their local elected officials opt in to pledge the future revenue generated by the economic development and the use of stadium under existing sales tax. Locally elected officials of affected cities and counties are best positioned to make these decisions for their communities and should not be prohibited from participating in an opportunity for perhaps the largest economic development project in our state's history. So again, under the bill, I'm going to read that part because this is important. Under the bill, sales taxes will not be captured unless communities through their locally elected officials opt to pledge in. So if surrounding communities want to be a part of it, they can choose, but it's their choice to opt into this.
At which point they wouldn't really have much to complain about because they chose to do so.
Yes, they would opt in to pledge the future revenue generated by the economic development and use the stadium under existing sales taxes. So if they need more revenue and the other areas around it that are obviously going to have overflow and spillover and perhaps make more money from it, they can do it. A number of things. By the way, the phone lines are open at 913-381-810. But Kansas is officially in the game for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I will say for the Kansas City Royals. This is done in red and gold. It is done with a Chiefs focus. It comes with a photo of a concept of what a Chiefs stadium could be. I've done a little bit of research on this here recently, and a couple of things of note. The stadium design is still to be figured out, right? That there is they've got a rendition, but what it would be is still out there. But presumably you're building new, they could build a retractable roof football stadium. They could offer a KU K-State game right there. They could offer a KU MU, a K-State MU football game to be played